What's up, everybody? Brian and Michael here. We're going to go over some getting up in base. That's what we call it. How you get up off the ground in fighting and in jiu-jitsu. And how can you be effective? Really, the central thesis here is how do you not get pushed down as you're getting up in base? Well, you got to create some space, right? You got to get angles sometimes. Maybe if somebody's really on top of you, have an underhook from half guard or something, you got to kind of get out to the side. But I'm just going to go over some stuff, just some stuff that my coach, Danny Dring, taught at a camp we were at somewhat recently. He had a session, was one of the instructors there, and I'm just going to basically highlight a few things that we do and some things he covered from that camp, okay? So here, let's swap sides actually that way. So I'm going to be here, okay? Now, a couple of things. This arm straight. I even like to turn out a little bit because depending on how far they are away, I want my arm like straight out here, and if I turn, I'm kind of hiding behind, just like when I throw a punch, kind of hiding behind my shoulder, right? And if they start getting down closer on me, he steps in, I might, have this up or even in his hip, and we'll cover something with that later, okay? So that's what we want. Then the other thing is I don't want this hand too far out here. What Michael should be able to do is put all of his weight on my palm, right, and me not get pushed over, right? So I should be able to stand up from here, just hovering, right? And even if he's driving his weight into me, I should be able to put that leg behind me, okay? So we don't want to get pushed over. I think a great way to drill this, and when we're drilling this at the beginning of classes, I'll walk around and try and push people over. And if the hand's out here, like kind of the way we often do in the warm-ups, you might get pushed over. So it's not just a way you get up off the mat because you're trained and you do it a lot and you want to preserve. It's self-defense. You can use it in a fight, right? I've had guys, MMA fighters, use get up in base in fights after getting knocked down. Okay, so, those details, don't be too far out here. Just push me over. Right, now I'm having to play something else. Push me over. Okay? So, and then this is a subtlety. If I'm getting down or getting up, don't look down, okay? So, here, versus like this, right? You take a knee, just different things can happen. Knee, shin kick. So, this is subtlety in like looking at your adversary, your opponent, your partner you're joining with or whatever. Like just some nuances on getting up in base. That hand behind you detail versus floating out to the side is the biggest one. Okay, so now let's say like we are a little further out, so swing that foot back, right? And if in me sitting in this configuration, in striking we call this sometimes open stance. It would be like Michael's a southpaw and I'm orthodox. Right, so I think about that way because I've done striking for as long as I've done jiu-jitsu. You might not, right? But the wrestlers would be like, oh, single leg territory, okay? If Michael steps in this way, right, I've got a counter I can do. Back up here. If he steps in this way, I've got a counter I can do. And really, you have multiple counters. I'm going to show one on this leg and two on that leg, and then kind of a third one too. And really, the distance and range changes. Okay, so as he steps in here, I'm essentially doing a side kick. You got to kind of be careful drilling this one because they will hyperextend their knee when they walk into this. Okay, so he's here. I'm stopping him, right? And at that point, I get up. Okay, so as he comes in, boom, right? I'm just jamming it there, and then I create some space. I keep him on that outside where I've got enough space just to retreat, just to get that leg, or knee out behind me. When you can't get all the way up, it's ankle pick. Always a good time to ankle pick someone when you're standing up, while you're standing up, okay? Now let's say he steps in with that one. Boom. This is my favorite, right? When it's for my buddy Jack. So if he swings in here to like pass it or get legs or whatever, I'm there. Boom. Okay? And I can come up and start working for takedowns or striking or whatever you're doing, okay? So if he steps in here, you got that one. If he steps in with the other, you got that. And this just keeps range. Look, I always tell people in striking, a lot of striking references in this video, sorry. I'm like, hey, which is longer? Your hand or your front kick? Well, your front kick's longer, look at it, right? So, about that much longer. Same thing when I'm sitting on the ground and I want to, like he steps in there, look, I've got more distance here than if he beats that barrier and starts getting in on top of me, and then I'm having to do like what we started off with, okay? So just think about these as like range creators. You don't have to be, boom, kicking, but you can, right? It just depends. Or if the Jiu-Jitsu Thought Police and the IBJJF rule guy is there telling you how to live your life, okay? He might be wherever you train. So anyway, so there's that. Now, swing back in with this one. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is like a scissor sweep. I'm gonna put one here, and I'm gonna put one here. And this one, you gotta kind of drill it and be a little, I don't wanna say rude, but you gotta be a little rude. You gotta kick right here. And then two, right? This is gonna become one of two things. If he falls all the way over to his hip, this may become a pass or a back take. Because why I've gotta worry here is this coming over, so I've got to stop it, right? So here, sometimes you won't always have that foot super clean on the calf crush if he rolls all the way over. So if he rolls all the way over, he can recover his guard, right? He's still on bottom and I'm still on top is the cool part about that, right? So here, this might end up being like a back take, okay? So, you know, when he comes in here, there's the crush. Could still be a back take. Okay. He steps in. Now, if I do this a really good job, he starts trying to fall to his hip and rotate. Be sure you check this. You might still get this, right? I can try and put my knee under. I can try and lift it up. But sometimes you're going to have to grab and pull it. Okay? So, what we want to do here is if he falls to his hip like this, be sure that this guard doesn't recover. Keep this bottom leg pinned and come up. Here you got smash passes. I can see the back, I can take the back, and so on. Okay? So, one other option here. He steps in and he gets really close on me, right? Here. So I'm framing across his hip, okay? And it's going to be very hard for me to get up, even if I'm doing all the stuff I talked about. But if I get up to a knee, and I can do the ankle pick and pass, okay? So, you know, he steps in, and none of this stuff we talked about so far is an option. I'm framing across his hip here, right? Just like I was talking about at the beginning, it's not always this. Sometimes he gets in close, right? So I'm framing across the hip here. I go to the knee. I'm going to pull here. Now, with this one, sometimes you pass the leg as it's happening. Sometimes I stand up, and then sometimes I get the leg pulled past me. Right, like there, that's kind of pulled past me. I prefer to stand up on this. We'll show one more. Okay, so he comes in here, right there. And I just do like a single leg pass, single under. I did here, and then kind of pull it over, right? Got the leg and just drag it. Now, from here, I can drop into leg drag. I can move into the smash, like just covering him like a wet blanket here. Go to the mount. Or, from here, let's say all I ever really wanted was for him to be flat and side mount. If you start moving back here, it's usually pretty attainable if you have them in a leg drag. So we've been working a lot of getting their hips facing one way so we can get them flat and side mount, right? So people turn on their sides and block you here. But if you will move his hips away, oh, there we go. And if you move his hips away, he's either got to turtle and give you his back, right? Expose the back, stay in leg drag, or he's going to turn in as you do that, right? So all good situations for me, not so much for him. So just a couple of nuances on getting up in base, ankle pick, I remember somebody telling me, like, anytime you stand up, ankle pick's a good opportunity. I agree with that. I've landed a lot of singles and ankle picks while I was getting up, right? So that's that. Some stuff to work on. We'll see y'all.